Ready to go down a rabbit hole with me today, friends? I'm talking about magnetic makeup, tattoos, weird eye diseases, and we might talk about some rubber cement. Get ready for it. I'll see you soon. Hello, friends. Welcome back. So I have a whole new box of fun stuff that I got to try. Okay, I lied. There are some old favorites in here, but I can't help myself. There are some old favorites I can't stop using. But we've got some new things to try anyway. One of the products that I'm going to try today is the new Benefit They're Real Magnetic Mascara. They claim that there are some magnets in the wand itself and then also in the chemical formula. And as you use the mascara and pull your lashes through it, it helps to extend that mascara outward a little bit. So I have questions. One is, it has to be safe in some way, otherwise it wouldn't have made it through FDA clearance and all of that. But I'm interested, as somebody who is in medicine, is it the ultimate safety, which is MRI safety? So just in case you don't know, let's go ahead and pull our hair back so we can start this business. MRI machines have three huge components to the entire system. There's the magnet itself, there's the radiant coils, and then there's, what is the other part called? Please hold. Other part are the radio frequency, that is hard to say. Radio frequency coils, the gradient coils, and then the magnet itself, okay? So what happens is when you go for an image, it's basically taking a inside tissue view without cutting you open. And it's great for those items that are more tissue based. It's not for necessarily for your fractures or stuff like that. And if someone has, I don't know, some sort of, let's say you're in an accident and you're wearing heavy makeup, and they want to take you for an MRI, and you can't tell them that you have this mascara or whatever on that has magnetic qualities in it. So I was curious to see whether or not it was safe to do that. So going down that rabbit hole is an interesting journey. There's not a ton of information, especially not recent. I think the most recent journal article that I found was in the early 2000s. They looked at this because there was an incident about tattoo ink, which I will tell you about in a little bit. Injuries with MRI machines, you think super metals, some sort of rod in your leg, or cardiac pacemakers can screw them up, that kind of thing. But you never really think about what your everyday substances are made of. So that was kind of why I went down that rabbit hole, because I was like, this is kind of an interesting thought. I'm going to be using today the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. It is, what color am I? Pale? Yep, pale. No, 210, okay? Not cadaver pale, but 210. There are paler shades. Beauty says it's a medium to full coverage for all, long wear, light as air. Ooh, shake well. Glad they said that. Otherwise, I would not have shaken well. And then wondered what was wrong. Do they want us to use a sponge, or they don't say? Awesome. Good thing is that I do have cool sponges to try out. Got Beauty Bakery has the cutest sponges. If you guys don't know this company, it is Black female owned. Beauty Bakery is an incredible company. Their products are always on point. Whatever you try from them is going to be wonderful. So this is just super cute that they're in the shape of a little egg crate. And then you open it up and look, how darling is this? Oh, yes. Which one are we gonna do? Pink or green, pink or green, pink or green, green. Okay. You guys, this is a dense sponge. Look at what happened when I ran it underneath the water. So here's the original size, okay? And then here's the wetted sponge. Whoa, pretty aggressive. Excellent. Okay, I think I'm gonna do what I normally do when I try out new foundations. Is I'm gonna do one side with the brush first and then one side with the sponge. And that way we can kind of see what we think. So anyway, back to our mascara. Looking at the research and seeing what some of the experts had to say, they didn't really go into a ton of detail. They talked about how a lot of makeup has iron oxide in it. Iron oxide is a common ingredient in things like eyeliners, mascaras, eyeshadows, in varying amounts. They didn't have any real hard data saying, you know, we had this one-time injury where this girl had on heavy makeup and she ended up getting her eyelashes ripped off. This is sort of not my shade, but there was no incidence that I could find of patients having like their eyelashes ripped off because they were wearing mascara that a magnetic quality to it. So I kept reading. And I continued to go down that rabbit hole. This is pretty nice. Y'all, I kind of get the hype. Just with the brush side alone, it's like very soft and it's not like collecting anywhere so far. As I went down that rabbit hole, I did find interesting information about what happens with people with tattoos. So there have been documented incidences where had MRIs and they were heavily tattooed, and in certain tattoos they would have everything from first to second degree burns afterwards, and they would report things like, oh, it feels like burning and tingling sensation. Well, what they found after doing some research, one woman even had to have part of her tattoo actually like excised, removed. What they found out is that a lot of the pigments, at least at that time in the early 2000s, apparently had iron properties in it. And it was enough and on a big enough surface area that it caused her to have first and second degree burns. And that was just one of several incidences that I found when I was kind of looking around. Also, interestingly, the pattern matters too. They found that the pattern, if you have like a tattoo with lots of swirls, this is really nice. Do I like it better with the or the buh? The buh or the buh? What is that? Knowing this is gonna be my shade is about midsummer. That's when it's gonna be my shade. And sweating my tits off because that's what we do in the summer here. So anyway, the pattern that they noticed was actually kind of like a swirly circular pattern, caused more of an injury than any other pattern. They're wondering if the swirling pattern created almost like an arc with the iron pigment reacting with the coils and the transmitter of the MRI machine, and then creating almost like a field, and it basically burned the patient. They also noticed that for permanent makeup, there was a couple of years for a while where permanent makeup and like permanent eyeliner were a thing. A lot of people would get the black permanent eyeliner put on. I did not do that because the idea, like I realize, okay, I have tattoos too, but the idea of a tattoo like right next to your eyeballs are weird, okay? Eyeballs are weird for me. I don't know why. Anyway, so I'm trying the Wet n Wild concealer, the Photo Focus concealer. My shade is 835 Fair Neutral. Anyway, permanent eyeliner, right? Okay, I'm gonna go slow, guys. I'm not gonna do a lot, okay? They found that when the patient had the permanent eyeliner and went for an MRI, she only reported like a kind of burning tingling sensation. What they noticed on the MRI scan itself was that it distorted the image, and they were particularly interested in her eyeballs because she ended up having an ocular cyst. MRI scan, when they looked at the pictures, the results, they were blurry. They were very difficult to decipher. So that's kind of an interesting thought, that the pigment can cause in tattoos, certain pigments, I would never say all pigments, because I couldn't find anything else like more recent, which means I don't know if people have been studying it or not. I don't know what the effect is now, because again, everything I could find was from the early 2000s. So has not much changed since then? Or have pigments come a long way? I don't know. Or if you're planning on getting one, take a look at like the instructions that they give you right before you go in. And I'm pretty sure that most consent forms and patient information will tell you, hey, by the way, you need to remove all of the makeup that you can, including that eyeshadow, ma'am, because your eyelids are cute and we want them to stay that way. Why am I like this? The moral of this story is it safe? Well, they're not really saying one way or the other. They say take off all your metallic stuff, so that includes makeup. Fair. Okay, fair. There's different ratings for MRIs for items that are considered safe because they're, evidence that they're safe. There's evidence that says absolutely not, like certain pacemakers, certain metallic objects, and, paper clips, oxygen tanks. It's a no-no. But as far as decorative stuff like makeup and tattoos, it's kind of like a big kind of question mark. Even on the MRI safety website, I didn't find it to be super clear, really explaining, various types and getting into detail, unfortunately. So more eyeball stuff. In urgent care, everybody feels like they've got something in their eyeball. Do they have something in their eyeball? Sometimes. If you've never gone to the doctor to get your eyeball checked out and you feel like you've got something in there, it's an experience. When you go to if you go to urgent care, I'm gonna put a little blurring powder here, friends, okay? Trying to get rid of some circles. They are going to put a fluorescent type dye in your eye and then hold up an old school black light to your eye. And then if there is an abrasion or a foreign body, God only knows, people put weird shit in their eyes and in their orifices all the time, which is totally for another day. Because yes, things in places they shouldn't be. Oh my God. But anyway, they put this fluorescent dye in your eyeball and then they hold up the black light, turn the lights off, getting ready for the party, looking at your eye, and your eyeball lights up like a disco ball. I kid you not. The first time I saw it happen, when I was doing my urgent care rotation, I almost had to leave the room because I thought I was gonna laugh so hard, because all I could think about was being back in college and how we used to have these crazy ass parties in which, we'd have all these black lights and people playing music from the early 2000s. So that would be like Nelly and Country Grammar. Oh shit. Why didn't you guys tell me I didn't blend this out? Show off your mad skills. And if you were like me, back then everybody wanted that, Someday I will learn to speak correctly, the King's English. Back then everybody wanted to be like doing blonde hair and, nobody wanted to have like super dark hair. I remember just wanting to fit in, right? I didn't want to embrace my inner darkness like I do now. I find that I'm more like Morticia every single day. I have no problems with this. It's the Laura Mercier loose translucent loose setting powder. Here we go. I mean, the concealer is a little bit light, but that's okay. We'll get over it. So anyway, back in college, we used to do this thing where, you bleach blonde your hair and then you'd go in and you'd be dancing and doing your thing, Country Grammar, la 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 la, And then you turn around and look at yourself in the mirror and you'd have, all you would see is your bright blonde, bleach blonde hair and your white teeth all matching because they were both fluorescent. Back to the urgent care. I totally had a moment where I was like, oh my God. Country grammar, Nelly, and E-I. So I almost had to leave the room for a second. Corneal abrasions are no joke, and they take a while to heal. If you have a really bad corneal abrasion, you just need to go see an eye specialist because there's only so much that like an urgent care or even like an emergency room is gonna do for you. I mean, if you have something obvious, like a giant, I don't know, a tube of lube, I don't know, something sticking out of your eyeball, you know, then you need to go to the emergency room, clearly. But if you just feel like there's something in there and it's really hurting, it's red, it's gross, it's crusty, that's when you need to go rolling up into the eye doctor and be like, hey. We all know that a sty can like make or break your day. Pretty much from like junior high on, when you get those dang styes, oh my God, not only do they hurt, but they're just annoying. And 9 times out of 10, you're the only one who can see it, right? Like nobody else is really that close to your face that can point it out. They can like see right there and they can be like, you got a little something there. Styes are also called, ready for it, hordeolas. It's probably one of the weirder names I've ever heard of. Hordeola just does not fall off the mouth the way you want it to, the way sty does, you know? All right, I'm gonna do my brows off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, that's better, right? Okay, I've got my brows on. I feel like I can't talk when I do my brows. Today, we're gonna try a new palette and I know zero about this brand. It came in my BoxyCharm, so we're gonna just experiment together. By BeeBeauty of London, and this is called the Barbarella palette. It is jet milled color, delivers intense saturated color, light reflective sheens with a velvety finish, gorgeous golds, pretty pearls, and frosted greens. Do you like how I said that? It's kind of interesting that there's basically a giant shimmery nude center and then a bright blue and kind of one random green. It doesn't look, there is one transition color. This is kind of maybe one, and then a darker shade, I guess. You could use that one also as a transition. And then kind of like an eyeliner-ish color. It's kind of a deep, deep chocolate color. A lot of these are very, very shimmery. This is almost like an olive color. This one, oh, Davor. Ooh, it's so shimmery and pretty. I don't even know if that's picking up on camera, but it is gorgeous. These are so pretty. Oh my God, I'm paralyzed by the options. See, this is what happens. If you give me a palette of this size, I'm just paralyzed. I'm paralyzed by the options. I don't know, let's start with a transition color. I'm gonna go in first with this shade Oliver because it looks like a good neutral that'll kind of go with anything. You know what I remember about stuff in the eyeballs is I remember in grade school the teachers getting so freaked out when we would be messing around with mechanical pencils because they all thought we were gonna jab each other's eyeball out, which seems so random now that like that was all they were concerned about, considering you don't see rubber cement on the elementary school lists anymore, do ya? We're gonna take this color, this neutral up here called Hue, and I'm gonna take it on kind of like a flattish-ish brush. Just gonna start tapping it on. Let's do a little tap, 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 tap. I like these brushes that are flat, but you could also use them as like fluffy blending brushes. I'm sure there's a fun, awesome name for them, but since I'm not a true makeup professional, I only do this for super fun times and to talk to you guys since you can't hang out in person, right? So I'm just kind of keeping this on the outer third and kind of smoking out and bringing some of the intensity further in, but keeping the majority of it on the outside. I'm gonna take a little bit of this color Lewis right here. It's kind of a brown olive greenish color. And instantly, I regret that, but it's okay because I can work with it totally and completely. So I'm gonna take this color Luca that's right here. I'm gonna kind of swirl my brush. Just trying to light up that inner corner part. Now I've got Country Girl in my head. Awesome. So speaking of fun things you can do in urgent care, do you know what you cannot do in urgent care? You cannot take care of chronic problems in urgent care. That's what a primary care physician is for. I feel like today people don't really get concept, or they're just impatient as hell and they just don't want to wait for their primary care doctor. The whole point of urgent care is mild illness, small injuries like the box cutter injury, the color mauve. Wow. So there you are. So I think I'm gonna end up being a hypochondriac by the time I'm 70, because every time I read something, I'm like, holy crap, I have that. I have that. Numbness and tingling. Blah, 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 blah. That too. And that. All of the things. We're also, I brought a magnet somewhere. We'll see if it's even like reactive to the little magnet that I have here. Also, yes, look at that. I love wands that are thick like that. So supposedly, like I said earlier, feel the pull that they're talking about. I mean, I can feel my own pull. So I have this cool lip plumping mask that we're gonna try out from AMNH Skincare. It's called Kiss the Stars 24 karat gold lip plumping mask. I'm slightly worried. That is a huge ass chunk of glitter. And you're telling me that that's biodegradable and it's tingling. I wonder where I put my magnet. Magnet? Magnet. So this is like the tiniest magnet that's like on the back of like fridge magnets, but it is so freaking powerful that I thought I'd try it and see. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let me see if I can get you close. Brace yourself. You see it? Whoa. It's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, let me take the lip mask off, so hold up. I can't get the glitter off. They're saying the glitter is biodegradable. Okay. Dominic Cosmetics. So I have her lip liner, her creamy fill and defined lip liner in the color Crush. Ooh, it's really pretty. And it's like a triangle, which is kind of interesting for a lip liner. Okay, why is the glitter showing through? Like, why can't I get that off? And the color is gonna go well with anything you put on. It's gonna be this is gonna be a great part of my collection. All right, so I don't feel like that lip plumper did much, and now I've got the STD of the craft world stuck all over my lips for God knows how long. But we are gonna do the NYX Filler Instinct and try that. Beach Casual. Okay, so let's talk about what we like today. Fenty Beauty Long Wearing Matte, Soft Matte Pro Filter foundation is gonna be a staple. I really, really like it, but it's not overpowering. It's not gonna be cakey the way some buildable ones can end up being. Beauty Bakery and their sponges, come on. Cute as hell and just fun and functional. Wet n Wild concealer, photo focus concealer. I personally probably need a hair more coverage. This is for people with just a tiny bit of circleage, but definitely not my dark, dear God, I'm in grad school and in medicine circles. I need something a little bit heavier. But if you want a little bit on the lighter side, this will definitely work really well for you. The eyeshadow palette. I'm interested in trying some of these other colors and combinations in here. The mattes worked beautifully. They blended beautifully. Dominic Cosmetics, yay, always a win with her product. The lip liner is to die for. I can't wait to keep using it, trying it with some other colors that I have, but first impression, it knocked it out of the park. 24 karat gold lip plumping mask. I will give it a fair chance. But so far, I'm not real excited about it. I don't feel like it did any. Biodegradable glitter? Do tell. And right now, how do you get it off? Thanks for joining me today. It was kind of hit or miss on some of our products, but we had fun talking and we chatted about some random things once again. Went down a couple of rabbit holes and chatted about some weird shit, just like we would in real person, real time. So leave me a comment down below what you would like to see. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.